Hey there everyone, I wanted to share with you this 1976 Hightop bus. I have got a book, well, you can't really see it with the green screen. See this folder? It's nothing but receipts of tons of work that's been done the past, 10 years or so. Previous owner really took care of it, and I want to go through it and share it with you because it's kind of interesting. I mean, I've seen stuff that's really important to change. A lot of like air breather box gasket, rear wheel cylinders, brake work, your regular spark plug tune-ups, a lot of that going on here. Just different receipts that I've gone through. Probably the most expensive one was $1,800. Just your basic work that can require quite a bit. This one here is $1,000. Like adjusting valves, replacing seals, vacuum leaks. All these things are super important to do on a bus. They won't affect the way it drives. It would probably still drive, but it would run rough. And this person would always, apparently, it looks like, keep track of that stuff. Like it would say running rich or running hard, running lean, and then take it in and get all kinds of work done. Oil filter, valve gaskets, compartment seals, air filter, the bushings, all kinds of really cool stuff on these receipts that you can't really see because of the green screen. But hey, so lots of stuff. Like all this stuff is just basic, like what he needed to do on it, and really cool that somebody would put that much effort into keeping track of their bus. And it really shows, guys. I've driven hundreds of these buses, and this one, immediately when I started driving it, I was like, this thing is nice. It feels tight on the road. For a high top, that says a lot. It feels really tight, it runs really well, starts right up, and it's really been a great bus to drive. I wish I could restore it, but we have, like you can see here on the side, we have that orange automatic bus there. That needs to be done as soon as possible. We have another one in paint and body, and another one that's also in paint and body, and another one that's on its way from Northern California. So we are very busy. We cannot, take on another project, but we're gonna make this one available. Here's some more receipts here. I'll just go through the prices. $180, $200, a whole bunch of different things done. There's tire ones, brake ones, electrical work. What I like the most is the preparation for the engine, making sure that all the components are working properly. That really says a lot, especially fuel injected. This one had new fuel injectors put into it. Super important stuff, man. Starter, all that stuff was replaced over time. So great stuff. Any questions, send me messages. Look, wow. Hey everyone, just want to answer a few questions I get asked often about these VW buses. One of them is, how can you ship it to a certain area? Like for example, this one, how can you ship it to Florida? Basically, I use a broker all the time when I'm transporting buses. They are very professional and probably one of the best prices. And it's very simple. You would basically, I'd send you their information. You give them my address and your address. He'll give you a quote on what it would cost if you agree to that cost, which is actually fairly reasonable. Something all the way to Florida might run you $1,500 to $1,700 to get it there. So he'll give you a quote if you agree to it. You pay him a $100 broker fee, and he'll arrange the driver for you, along with communication with me. And they'll pick up where I am and transport it all the way to you. Once it's to you, you would pay the driver the remaining balance. So if you guys agreed on $1,600, for example, then you would pay the driver that when he arrives with your bus. As far as the process, you and I would communicate. As long as payment's made in full, the bus can leave. The bus would leave with the title, or I'd mail the title to you. So there's a few ways to do that. And that's just one of the questions that I get often. Another question often asked is how many miles are on a bus? And oftentimes I honestly don't know. It just really depends. These are 40-year-old cars. If the motor has been replaced and there's documents for it, then I could easily just look at it and see when the odometer reading was last input and have a pretty good idea. But the reason why it's difficult to know on these old buses is because the odometer only goes 5 digits. So it could say 56,000 miles on it, that could mean 56,000 miles. It could mean 156, 256, and so on. So unless I have receipts on if a motor was rebuilt, it's hard for me to tell. Although I will say 90% of these motors have been replaced at some point. It's very rare that I do get a bus that's the original miles and there's documentation for it and it's very low miles. I'd say for the most part, these buses probably have, I don't even know, it's hard to say, 50,000 miles to 100,000 miles on the motor that's in it. I'd say 99% of the buses I've gotten, they all have a motor that's been replaced at least once. So what the mileage is hard to say. I could read the odometer to you and give you that. But as far as what's on the actual motor, the best way to really know is just a compression test. Compression test is just basically checking the heart of the bus to see how healthy it is. And that's how I do it. Another question, where in OC? Tustin.